Tournament weekend is fast approaching. I need to get some good practice in against the best players on Magic Online. What better place to do that than a Vintage Prelim? All right, welcome back, Vintage Gamers. We have just fired a Friday Prelim, so I'm going to do some more testing here for Eternal Weekend. This is my oath list. It'll be the same list that I played in a recent video. I'm not exactly sure the order all these videos will go out in, but it'll probably be the same list I end up playing at the New York event 11-4, 1 week before heading out to Europe. So basically, hardcore testing for Eternal Weekend. This is very similar to the list that I won the BCD Vintage event with. Pretty much same 60. And then in the sideboard, there's just some adaptations for the upcoming metagame with Null Rods and Portal. A little bit on the weaker side on my sideboard for Bazaar, but you know, you still have Sarah's Emissaries and Leyline, so it should be fine. I am not super thrilled with this deck. I think the metagame has adjusted really well to its dominance a few months ago, and it's no longer in the prime position it was when I registered it for BCD. I do think I got a little bit lucky in metagame timings. If this deck ends up not being super good, then I'll have to do some scrambling and try to figure out how I can build a Tinker deck with the cards that I have for Eternal Weekend, but currently this is my front runner for the event, as Paradoxical Outcome does not look very playable. So we're going to take this to a prelim versus the best players on the platform. 4 rounds, hardcore, vintage, Magic. I'll see you in round 1. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content? Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. Okay, here we go. Round 1, Vintage Prelim. We're up against Alberto. Alberto likes to play Bug and that kind of thing. This hand isn't amazing by any means, but certainly represents doing something powerful on the second turn of the game with maybe force backup, so I'm pretty down. Any blue card means I can Mystical for a Tinker or something like similar, and any payoff means I automatically have it on turn 1, so. Ancestral, have to just let this go. Can't really afford to force that here. Atraxa. All right, so that is my blue card here. I'm just gonna get the Petal out, but I'm not gonna play the Mana Crypt. I technically can have 5 mana on turn 2. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to choose which thing we want to do. Currently, I think the answer, it kind of depends on if they tap out or not, right? Or it also depends on if they collect Roof Me or not. Depends on if they wasteland me or not. They're not tapping out. Feels really hard to jam anything into this kind of open mana. If they are playing Bug with Hull Breacher, can't really afford to get Ancestral Recall either. I think the answer is actually just Flash. It lets me play it on their turn. It lets me not have to play out my Mana Crypt or invest my mana. It's just another great instance of Flash being a great choice. So I think in this sense, we'll go Mystical Flash, and we'll end up going... Oh. Okay. That's not the worst possible outcome here, so I think we'll be okay. Definitely looking to just draw an Oath or something similar. Did not do that. All right, well, I have nothing really going for me here. I'm just going to play out my lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 2 turns, I can cast an Atraxa, maybe. That might be the best thing we can do. Just Bowmaster. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be some kind of bug deck. Normally, I'd say that's a pretty decent matchup, but you know, my opponent's known to play some like Abrupt Decays and Assassin's Trophies, which can be kind of challenging when you're playing Oath. Oko on Atraxa is very annoying, so it's not actually that great of a matchup. You would think it'd be a pretty good one, because it's another creature deck, but it's a creature deck that has a lot of tools. The good news is we're not currently getting wastelanded, which is a huge problem in this matchup, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, well, on the next turn, I technically have the ability to hard cast an Atraxa, and I will have force backup. So, not bad. Another Bowmaster. The good news is Bowmaster is just a very anemic card in general, and especially against my deck. My deck has 1 Ancestral, 1 Probe, and 1 Brainstorm, 3 cards that draw cards. So it does shut off my Ancestral lines, but I'm not really worried about, you know, this Orc army or anything. And I'm not really worried about it stopping me from doing drawing. So opponent is not playing any lands or anything. I, of course, immediately draw the Ancestral. I don't know why I keep doing that one, but... All right, time to see if my Atraxa can resolve. If it doesn't resolve, we basically lose on the spot, but what's a guy to do? They have to have Force of Will. They can't have Force of Negation. I mean, they can't have Negation plus Force of Will, obviously. So they have Force of Will. So if they have Force of Will plus another counterspell, we just lose. Force of Will and Drown in the Lock. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I don't know. I guess I can keep the Ancestral and give myself a last-ditch effort, but I don't think that's ever going to get there. Yeah, my opponent resolved Ancestral in this game, and I just did not have the requisite cards to beat an Ancestral draw. Not much to say. I could theoretically mulligan my hand, but I really don't think mulliganing my hand was great. I don't think forcing Ancestral was remotely feasible either, so... Well, now I definitely can't cast this Ancestral, right? Because I'm going to take 3, 5, 8, 2, and die. All right, let's just get myself out of this game. Yeah, I don't know. Like the only real thing I could have done differently is mulligan, right? Forcing there is just not going to cut it. All right, so it's bug. I don't even know what the last bug list looks like. Not a list that's not a deck that's typically played very much anymore. But Alberto definitely a proponent of the deck. 2 Assassin's Trophy, 2 Spell Pierce. We saw 3 Bowmasters, right? So the list has changed since the last one that was published. 2 Dress Down as well. Oh no, this is a Lurrus list. That's not what we're playing against. Interesting. Oh, so they have a new list then, because their last couple lists were Lurrus decks. Just gonna bring in Portal for an option here. And then I'm gonna take out Negation. I don't really feel like that does anything for us. And then I have to consider, do I want to have Dismember in my deck? I don't really think so. I'm not super worried about getting oofed. Like if they have a Leovold, it's pretty bad for me, but I'm just gonna run it like this. Oh wait, they are on Lurrus. Did they reveal Lurrus in game 1? Am I crazy? Maybe they just made a mistake and didn't reveal Lurrus in game 1, or maybe they boarded into Lurrus. I don't really know what I'll have to go back and look. I don't remember that they had a Lurrus in game 1. Could have just been a misclick or something, though. Fluster, Ancestral, Mox, Land, Demonic. Fantastic. All right, well... I think we're in a good spot then. My opponent goes turn 1 Demonic here. No, they're just going to go for Fluster. Oh, we have just Oath, so... Unless they top deck Force. They're going to Ancestral in response. We know their hand. We're just going to force this Ancestral because they're so behind. Should get rid of this show and tell. So this leaves them with like a demonic getting Assassin's Trophy next turn if they can, but like obviously it won't kill it right away. If they have like a Nature's Claim in their sideboard, they can demonic for a Nature's Claim right away. If they have a green card in hand, doesn't do it. They have a cage in their deck, they can demonic for a cage. I guess I should have kept the show. No, I don't know. It's kind of hard to keep either of these. Because if I had the show, then I can actually beat a cage, but then I won't have an Atraxa, so. This turn 2 Oath lined up pretty well against my opponent's hand, knowing that they had no counter magic, made us like easy to get this Ancestral countered. So now it's time to find out what my opponent demonics for. They have probably lots of possible options here, and I think our best bet is my opponent just goes for like a Nature's Claim, kills this Oath, and then I just have a second Oath. That's probably our best thing that could happen to us. If they just go for a removal spell for Atraxa, that's not bad either. Okay, they have a cage. All right, well, that's the worst one. That's definitely the worst option. But it does leave my opponent with not that much going on. So we have Okos in our deck and Besagus in our deck that can deal with this. Just going to wait. We'll give it a spin at the end step here with an Orchard, I think, even though it's going to give them a Spirit token. So our best thing that we can find is, so not going to put Lurrus in their hand. I don't know if that means they have a Bowmaster counterspell. The best thing that we can find is just a Besaju. It's uncounterable. Can do it on our upkeep here. Trigger on the stack. Found Oath of Druids, Flooded Strand, Portal. All right, well, I am simply going to draw this Flooded Strand. And then, I mean, I guess I theoretically could mill over these cards, but it doesn't really sound good to me. I guess something to consider was if Magic Online is currently coded correctly, I should have kept the show and tell in my hand, because if there's a cage, the way cage interacts with Oath is that if you mill into the thing and you can't put it into play, it stays on top and you draw it. So if I had kept show and tell as my last card, I could then beat cage by oathing into Atraxa, drawing Atraxa, and showing Atraxa. So I threw this game. I most assuredly threw this game. Okay. Well, this is why we practice. Yes, I should have kept show because I can get an Atraxa through a cage. Okay. Do I want to spin before? Yeah, I think seeing one extra card is fine here. Though I guess it turns off my ability to show. There is a Mystical on top. But I think Mystical is like a lot worse with Flusterstorm and everything. So I kind of would rather just fetch away. I guess I can't get Opposition Agented. Okay. So I did not find what I was looking for. No Okos, no Besajus. I do have a Black Lotus, so I can cast an Atraxa. That'll force them to have something again. Here's the Bowmaster. Take 4, go to 9. I mean, it has to resolve again. But like I said, well, I guess to be fair, no, my opponent would have been tapped out the turn they played Cage, right? So they wouldn't have had Flusterstorm up, so I would have been able to show the exact same turn. Yeah, I mean, I threw the game. Just something that wasn't, readily apparent, but if you just think about what things they can actually demonic tutor for here, it just makes perfect sense. So really just unfortunate. My opponent had a negation. They should have negated that. All right, I have an Atraxa. I can't imagine this is actually enough. My opponent has I can't drown in the lock me yet, but what is this? This is like a mystical, a hard cast Mindbreak trap. Oh, maybe it's a dig through time. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, what am I supposed to do here? This is it. And then next turn I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, resolved. See if they have an Oko, I guess. So I have my own Oko here. Take Oko, Underground Sea, Oath, Jet. Wish I had hit a Beseiju, because then I could just go and kill this Grafdigger's Cage right away. I mean, taking Force is kind of silly because they just have a Fluster, but maybe if I make it to the next turn, it's quite good. I guess technically I can spin with this Jet. Okay, so I probably should have taken Tropical Island so I could spin with my Jet and be able to find Beseiju and kill this cage. Awesome. I didn't even think about it. Yep. Wow. I mean, the good news is like this is very okay. I mean, the good news is I can draw that on my upkeep and it's okay, and that will still work, but like these good lessons learned. Good lessons learned. I feel like these are things that I would catch on a normal day, but I've just not been on it recently. I've been pretty off it. Not on my game. All right. It doesn't seem like my opponent has an answer to Atraxa immediately. So this attack looks bad. Oh, it says dismember. Double dismember, maybe. Oh, this is Bowmaster, shoot Bowmaster. Okay. Nice. Couldn't have played around that, right? Oh, I guess if I had blocked the Orc army, it would have played around that, right? Because they could have shot. No, does that kill the Orc army? How does that work? That might not kill the Orc army. I can't remember. Okay. I didn't play around that. I should have played around that. Okay. I think I'm still winning currently, so it's not too big a deal, but I think that's how it works. Whereas if you shoot the 1/1, it's still going to be a 2/2. Because I remember with the ring, when the ring is in play, you have to shoot something. So I should have been able to play around that one too. But it does turn off a second Bowmaster, which would be... Second Bowmaster is pretty annoying if I want to use this Tomp to get my Beseiju in my upkeep here. I might just not want to get the Beseiju in my upkeep because I don't need a second Atraxa right now, but I would like to find Time Walk, so... There's no way I die from here. Alright, I think I am going to find Beseiju. Oh, I guess I can get Bowmaster to 1. Because they this will give them a... I think it's really good for me to get an Atraxa trigger here is all I'm saying. Oh, they can Ancestral me with Flusterstorm back up. Okay, I will just force this because they don't have Fluster up now. They have Force backup? And then they buy Lurrus and replay Bowmaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, they buy Lurrus and they can replay Dress Down. Wait, are we gonna lose this game? I mean, they didn't have Fluster back up, so it just made sense. Oh, now there's just no reason to Oath unless I want to get rid of my Sensei's Top as my top card. Because I can Time Walk still. I can never draw with my Sensei's Top because there... Oh, I could draw with my Sensei's Top because there is a Bowmaster turned off with Dress Down, so... Okay. So I can still find Time Walk. I mean, I knew 2 of them, so it was a dead draw. All right, well, whatever. I mean, they've already used, what, 2 Bowmasters? We saw at least one more Bowmaster. If my opponent draws Black Lotus, I die. They only have 6 mana, so they can't buy Lurrus, play Lurrus, and return Bowmaster yet. If they have a Dress Down, I die. If they have an Ancestral, I die. That block is going to lose me the game. They hit Bowmaster, and I died. Wow. I threw both games. Currently, I'm sitting here, round 2, trying to figure out how I ever won a tournament in my entire life. Here we go again. Definitely this is a keep, but it obviously has problems. This is just a Sapphire brainstorm and see what happens kind of deal. If we truly lock ourselves in some kind of horrific way, we can always break it with Mystical Tutor. Like Mystical Tutor getting Probe is a pretty reasonable way to unlock it. You don't want that to happen, obviously, but if we hit like Underground Sea or Forbidden Orchard instead of a fetch land, we can still unlock it with a Vampiric as well. So definitely going to take this hand and take the risk. Wow. All right, well, we super locked it. Um, I don't want to get Vigored, so I am just going to... my opponent milled a 5 in this game. I think I am just going to pass and not play these out. I guess if I get Vigored, I'm just screwed no matter what. Does it really matter if I play them out or not? Okay, let's see what happens. I'm just going to snap negate this thing. I don't really have any other plays in this game. They just force it back. Is it going to be a Collector Roof? What is it? Oh, Ancestral. Sick. Sick 5-card hand. We're going to get beamed here, I guess. They go Lavinia. That's a good reason to not... Oh, they're just going to cycle Tropical Bean me. No bean. All right. I'm just gonna get Probe. I don't think like getting Ancestral is actually better. Wasteland, Force. I want to play these out before they draw Lavinia. And if I draw an Antraxa, I'm winning again. Well, I guess they can draw a blue card too, so. Wow. What a game of Magic we've had, huh? Wasteland Force. Skillfully playing around Wasteland by never having a land. Turns out, if I had gotten Ancestral, I might have even been in a better spot, which is kind of surprising to me. All right, well, I have a Force. Maybe I played wrong. I don't know. It feels like really hard to grab an Ancestral there when you know they're on Bean and they Ancestral themselves. And I'm not making a play for a full turn. I'm drawing an Ancestral and passing. Then I wouldn't have had Force. I mean, I would have top deck Force after, but like, yeah, no, I think I like the thing I did. Beanstalk. I can't actually counter Bean. Oh my god. They have a blue card in their hand. Like I would love to counter Beanstalk here, but I need to be able to make a play where I'm winning, not just losing, not playing to lose. Like if I force this and they do nothing and they have Force, then I have no chance of resolving a play for the rest of the game. Where right now I'm in a chance where I can still win. It's just super bad. It's super bad. I don't want this to resolve, but I don't think I have a choice. Like now, obviously, if they force me, they draw a card, right? But I just can't resolve my spells if I force this thing. And they just let it go. If every deck is like all these Lurrus decks are actually playing Dress Down now, there might just be no hope for this Oath deck. Like in the beginning, these Lurrus decks weren't playing Dress Down and they were pretty much weak to everything. But now they're just slamming Dress Downs. Playing attracts a deck against Dress Down is so horrible. This was the best top deck in my deck, so that's good. Here's Force, draw a card, pitching negation. Force, pitching Force. Draw a card, see if they draw. I mean, they have a Force in there. They have a Wasteland in there, so they draw Spell Piercer, Flusterstorm. Should put Wasteland in play, probably. Oh, they drew Mentor. Okay. I mean, right now, we're currently winning on board. Lotus, Citadel. Oh, I can't go Lotus and Citadel. Lotus, Demonic. Flash, Fetch. I just go Lotus. I go Basic. I probably just go Basic, Demonic, attracts a Flash right now. Right? And that loads me up with Ancestral, Tinker, Petal, Misty. Yeah. I love Flash, man. Flash is so good. Okay, I'm very surprised we won this game, but we did luck sack basically best possibles off the top, so. All right, we're playing against Bean deck. I'm going to bring in Dismember, and I'm going to bring in Portal, and then I'm going to bring in Negation, maybe. And I want to just like trim on some of these things that are really bad against Null Rod. Strip mine looks terrible. I think we're still gonna leave in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take out Citadel and I'll just leave Portal. And because Portal, yeah, I think this is fine. Now my opponent doesn't play that many creatures, but the creatures they do play are important. It's like a Lavinia, Oof, the Forger. If I ever let a Forger attack, I probably can't win. So I think the Portal's actually fine here. And the Portal has value even if they like Nature's Claim, Besiege You, or Vigor Me, which are huge problems. It's going to be Upkeep Ancestral. So my plan here is just going to be Crack Fetch, Oath, play Oath, and then I can Vamp for Orchard and Time Walk. Obviously, if I get Vigored here, it's bad for me, but I mean, I have to make plays. See what they do. Bean, maybe. I don't think I'm countering that one. So this means they have to have a force or a misstep for my Vamp. Probably draw a card, draw over. I guess now they can technically draw cards though. So Vamp can get Orchard, I'm gonna Time Walk if I can. Is this a responding Vigor maybe? It's pretty bad for me if they respond with Vigor now, but can't do much about it, right? Something that would make these kind of matchups a little bit better, not really against Vigor, but just in general, is maybe adding Veil of Summer to the board if they're going to be just more of this kind of control deck. All right, negation. Didn't get to draw a card off that, which is nice. So now they have to have a removal spell for this Oath or a removal spell for the Spirit token. Wasteland. So if they Wasteland this Orchard and then shoot this Oath, or shoot this Spirit token, that will work. The amount of like weird control decks, yeah, that are getting played right now is really high. What else do you have? Lorien reveal. I mean, if they just play a whale off of this, or we're just super dead, right? It feels like there's so many answers. There are just too many answers. I just don't. The problem is if like these are the decks that are getting played, then it's not like switching to Tinker is gonna make my life better, right? Like if we're playing against dress down control decks, switching to Tinker is not going to help me. They're weak to the same kind of things, right? So I'm not even like, doesn't even help if I switch decks. I mean, maybe Eternal Weekend will be more bizarre in Workshop because of, you know, card restrictions, and it will be less of this kind of stuff. People will only have Bazaars or whatever, but I don't know. Not very confident. I was really, really confident when I signed up Oath for the BCDL tournament, but for Eternal Weekend, if I play Oath, I have no confidence in the deck being good. So we play this first to play around Spell Pierce. Actually, we should probably play around Mystical Dispute as well. Yeah. They have hard cast negation. This Bamp Beans deck is popular, and it seems to be, or is gaining popularity, and it seems to be pretty reasonable. It's a huge problem. It's a good draw. Like, I might still win this game just by out top decking my opponent and being more lucky, but just stylistically, with the cards that are in both of these decks, it lines up so poorly for me. They have something. Just hardcast force. Yeah. Technically, I could have held negation until this point, but they would have gotten an extra card and drawn more cards. It doesn't really end up being very good for me. I think countering the bean was fine. They still have everything held up. Just gonna dismember in their upkeep. I guess that doesn't actually help. I mean, it makes it so that if they have a counter spell, they don't make a thing on this turn so they can attack with it. They have a thing on this turn? Oh, they have a containment priest. I think my way to win this game is land Atraxa, so I don't think containment priest matters. I have 2 oaths left in my deck. I mean, I'm not gonna win this game. What am I kidding me? Like, they're just gonna play a freaking whale here. They have double wasteland if they want. They should definitely double wasteland me. Keeps me off of like really strong Oko lines. Keeps me away from Atraxa. Keeps me away from top decking Lotus Portal. Bro, if I top deck Lotus Portal and they don't wasteland me, kill their board, reanimate Mentor, could be sick. Simply just drawing show and tell is really good too, right? Okay. Winnable, super winnable. I mean, I think my opponent has another force, but if my opponent didn't have another force, it would be super winnable, right? Excuse me. Oh, my opponent just cast Treasure Cruise with a Beanstalk in play. All right, it's no longer winnable. Perfect. Caracas, Needle Oko. Sure. I'd like to put a show and tell on the stack for Max Rubbins, though. Oop. I really don't understand why I guess my opponent let me have these lands because they have a Caracas, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they should have just wastelanded me beforehand, and I don't really like that they didn't. So Containment Priest is another good reason that we have Dismember in our deck. Man, my faith in Oath is just evaporating at an incredible pace. I mean, I do take 2 damage to play Atraxa, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. The problem is now they don't have the Mentor in the yard. So even if I did resolve a portal, I guess returning a containment priest is something, but it's not very good. A true negation. Okay. I still am not dead, right? Because I technically still draw show, so I guess we can draw one more card. It's cool that I can like tap Orchard first, put the thing in play, and then play Oath. But oh, I am dead. It's 3 damage. Perfect. Maybe I mean I have to bring in Dismember for those things anyways. All right, let's do it again. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like what can like just stylistically, this matchup is no good, right? It's just there's not really much you can do in this configuration to make this better. You can change your configuration. You can cut show and tells. You can play control oath. You can push out of the card disadvantage and into a controlling oath deck where you are you have more counter magic, more draw spells, better smoothing, more removal. I just don't really feel like those decks are at the same caliber as the rest of the format. So I don't usually look at them unless I think there's a certain metagame hole in which they exploit, right? And so if I am looking at a control oath deck, which I don't think is powerful and isn't exploiting a metagame hole, then it's better for me to just not play oath. The problem is, am I, like going to go down in the trenches and battle with the control players, pick up a Lurrus and some Lorien revealed and go to town? Maybe that's the play. I'd rather be tinkering, right? I really don't expect like artifact combo to be like an amazing spot either. I think the number of null rods and collector roofs at an event like Eternal Weekend will be higher than normal. And I think online they should be drastically increasing week to week as things like Jewel run the metagame. These Force of Negations are just so bad at doing protecting my combo. It's really, really frustrating every time I draw a negation in this deck. It's just so stylistically not what I wanted to be doing. Like, it's probably required because of, the combo decks in the format. And it's not like it's always bad because you can protect your flash. But when you're trying to jam Tinker and Show and Tell and Oath of Druids, having this negation in your hand just makes you feel like you're really dumb. Like, why did you register this? Doesn't make sense. Here, like, we can still make it work, right? We can go Orchard Mystical for Ancestral on their turn. Though, like, there's problems inherent in that line as well with the fact that I'm just like, I have the worst mana possible where I have an Orchard. I mean, realistically, it's probably mystical for force, and then just try to jam through. Oh, I don't have a freaking Citadel. I boarded out Citadel for whatever reason. I thought that was good. Um. Okay. So now what do I do with my life? Oh, I probably am supposed to play Jet for Lavinia, right? Another mistake. Clearly not in the best mental spot to be playing Magic, I guess. Now I can't Mystical because this is my blue source. Sick. Okay. Where do I go from here? So this would be so good if I had a Citadel in my deck, but I just cut the Citadel. I just don't know what I'm thinking. Why would I ever cut the Citadel? What was the reasoning behind cutting the Citadel? It was like negations, claims, and Lavinia was why I thought about cutting Citadel. There's no reason I can't play Citadel and have Portal in my deck. If I get oofed here, it's just so bad, right? What is my path forward? If I draw a blue land, I can... So I think I should wait on this Atraxa to try to have Hardcast Negation up, right? Jamming a show and tell here doesn't look like it makes any sense. Guess I could also just have Containment Priest in response, right? I don't know. Nothing really works. They can have Dress Down off of it. They can have Containment Priest in response. I should probably just play a Dress Down deck. Maybe I'm supposed to negate this in case they play an oof off it. All right, well. Yeah, cool. I'm not even sure this is winning anymore if I resolve it. If I resolve both, it's probably winning. I shouldn't let them draw. Just click through it. It's fine. All right. I guess this gets back Time War. All right, whatever. I'm just dead. I'm gonna have to bring this deck to a New York tournament tomorrow, where I'm waking up at like 4 a.m. and there's gonna be at least 2 Beans players. Should I just switch to PO? All right. We're under round 3 of my continuing descent into madness. I mean, this hand is a beautiful example of why we register this deck. So, nothing like getting conflicting signals. My opponent's playing blue-black. whatever thing, and I just put an Attrax into play on turn 1 against them, they are basically just doomed. They can't really beat this in any capacity. Time Walk, Atraxa, Ancestral, Sapphire. I take an extra turn. This deck is dumb. I did the Black Lotus. It's okay. Okay. I hate everything about what just happened. All right. Do I even have cards to board in? Wouldn't board in Portal here. No. Like, are all my cards bad? All right. There's no, they don't have dismember. I guess Vigors are good. Vigors got to be better than like Negation, right? What was I boarding in this matchup before? I was boarding like Caracas. I'm trying to remember what I used to board in this matchup, and now I can't. Was I boarding Energy Flux? Doesn't sound right. Was I boarding Sphinx? Doesn't sound right. Wasn't boarding Dismember, right? They don't have anything that I want to dismember. They have Bowmaster, Lurrus, and Construct tokens. Oh, alright. I'll just board down on Mystical and Negation and board in some Vigors. Vigors are fine. You can hard cast them. They do things. This hand looks fine. Keep. Saga Gaming. Sapphire. Pearl. I don't think I'm supposed to Vigor them. I don't have a backup plan. I don't have protection. It's not really the draw I was looking for either. I think I'm just supposed to be patient here. I kind of need this oath. Yeah, that's real bad for me. Because now it doesn't cost them anything. How could I have played around this in a meaningful way? Maybe I just had to Vigor them. Now they just make double constructs, get a cage, and I don't even have a play anyways. I guess, I mean, I still am on Show and Tell Flusterstorm if I draw an Atraxa. But like, this hand should never actually be good against me, but maybe I just fumbled this game by not playing turn 1 Oath with Flusterstorm backup. That's probably what the problem was. I just didn't want to lose my Black Lotus because I wanted to be able to cast this Vigor, and I didn't want to lose. Yeah, I mean, the reasons I had still seem good. I just did not really work out. They drew another Saga. That's quite bad. Spell Pierce, Mindbreak Trap. I can't cast this Tinker. And I can't cast this Vigor. These show and tells are bad. I don't have another Moxen, so this Tinker has to Tinker off this Lotus, and I can't do that because I will immediately get Spell Pierced and can't pay. I can't Vigor on their upkeep because I will get Hardcast Trapped, or I will get Hardcast Trapped, and I can't pay Fluster. I can't pay for Spell Pierce and Fluster anyways. Show and tells did not work. Maybe if I had gone for my Lotus Oath Fluster play, I would have gotten trapped anyways. I'm not sure how much of that was I played it wrong and how much of it did it was bad lineups. Like the cards didn't line up well against each other. I think this is simply Island, Mana Crypt, Tinker, play around Mindbreak Trap, lose my land drop. I think jam. Yeah, I think I just jam and make them have it here. They had it. Okay. If they were gonna wasteland me, I definitely wish I had held. Definitely wish I would hell if their plan was wasteland me. Give them a 1/1 in case I draw an oath here. A hold strip mine incentivizes a saga play. They have one card left. I mean, Trax is a great draw. Black Lotus. The problem with this deck is it doesn't really refuel because you're not playing any draw spells. You're not playing any Lorians. You're not playing any Preordains. You just have your combo A plus B pieces. Like, I'm never really going to pass up that opportunity to turn one Tinker on the play. But I don't really have a plan B, right? Can't really afford to play this Oko. I lose my Lotus and my Petal to do so. Think I'm okay with them wastelanding this land if they want. Puts them further away from Lurrusing. I guess it doesn't actually put them further away from Lurrusing, but... They might feel pressured to wasteland me because of Atraxa. So this is Demonic Ancestral. I guess Lurrus doesn't even matter that much because there's a cage, so they're not like they're looting Bobble or anything. I mean, if they get Ancestral here and cast it, we will force it. Pitching Oko. Then I'll Wasteland their Saga, or their Sea, I think. I can't actually cast this without using a pedal. They didn't DT. They could have DT'd for Saga, I guess. This is really risky to let it resolve, because if I have a Besage, it's uncounterable, right? If I have one of my Besages, I can Besage this cage uncounterably. Maybe they tutored for Saga. So the reason I'm not wastelanding their C is because if they tutored for Saga, I need to hold this for it. They just went for a Force. All right, I'll just go Force. I'm not going to pitch Oko. Yeah, I'm going to pitch Oko. Okay. Sure. Cruise your daddy. Oh, they hit CC. I put Lurrus in hand. No, Cruise with something backup. Kind of hoping I just drop a Seiju now. All right, Force Pitch Fluster. That's the reason I wasn't really super thrilled to have my Show and Tell anyways. I guess Show and Tell might have been enough. All right, they drew 3. I know I have a Strip Mine now. All right, well, my best draws are Vigor and... oh, I guess I did the same thing again, where I could have just held Show and Tell and then I mean, it probably wouldn't have worked, right? But I could have held Show and Tell, drawn the Atraxa, and cast it. Yeah. I mean, that probably wouldn't have worked into my opponent's Treasure Cruise plus Force of Will, so... All right, so I'm going to go get the Beseiju. So now they kind of need to have Dress Down. This match has been so much closer than it should be. Four. Cruise. All right. Well, my opponent Xeroxed me. They've done the cruising and the digging. They're deep in their deck, but Seiju is not counterable, so it might just still be a win, right? Is there a timing window that it's better to use this on? Oh, they have Black Lotus. It's like no timing window. That makes more sense, right? I can just go in response to the trigger. Oh my god, what if they fucking bowmaster? Oh, that wouldn't do anything. I was like, say, what if they bowmaster their spirit token? That doesn't matter. They can lure us back this cage after. So if they have an answer to an Atraxa, cool. I have 12 cards left in my deck. I have all 4 Atraxas in the bottom 13 cards. There's nothing left in my deck. Is there a force? No. Is there a show? So there's a show. So I can ancestral into a show. Ancestral for a show, it only helps me if they remove my thing. I guess it's fine. This puts me at 4 cards left in my deck. I already know almost all of my bottom cards, right? There's only one other card I don't know. I could figure it out, I guess. But there's no Oko. Time Walk. There's nothing. I mean, all I can do is have show and tell for Atraxa and hope they can't answer this Atraxa. There's 2 Atraxas and 5 lands in the bottom 6. 2 Atraxas and 4 lands in the bottom 6, and then so they can go. It's all about if they have an answer in their deck to Atraxa. If they have an answer in their deck to Atraxa, we lose, and if they don't, then we win, I guess. That was unbelievably bad luck with the Oath. I'll gain 7, sure. I don't even have 10 permanents that I can Citadel, so there's no point. 10 outland permanents. I mean, maybe the Traxa just wins. That would be amazing, but that's all I have, so. They just need to find dress down is what they really need to find. Maybe they just find nothing and I win. That is how that is the reason that I did play this Oath deck originally, to beat these blue-black decks. I think we're gonna win this game. I mean, I thought we were going to win this game when the Oath triggered because I had 44 cards in my deck. Oh, no. Do we get Vault Keyed the last turn? Sure. You got me. Imagine we get Vault Keyed on the last possible turn. Kind of surprising that we didn't. They drew about 1,000,000 cards, right? Time Walk? No. I mean, I have no counter spells. I literally can't do anything. Oh no, they drew Vault this turn off of the bauble. Oh, I don't. Okay. I am really losing my mind, huh? All right, chat. Here's the deal. In round 4, I accidentally recorded the entire round in the wrong scene, so it is just my face and no gameplay. What I'm going to attempt to do here is record the replay in Magic Online over the sound of me recording and see if we can get it all to sync up. Wish me luck. All right, here, fifth and final round of this vintage prelim. Looks like we're gonna play another match versus Lurrus, so that will make our matchups 2 Lurrus decks, 3 Lurrus decks, and one being Bug, and being. This hand doesn't actually do anything. I'm not gonna keep this. I think this is fine. I am still going to brainstorm here, even like I did last time. Obviously, there's risk involved, but I'm gonna do this and then hold open my Flusterstorm instead of playing out my top. I will crack away the Lotus Petal though. I think we can try to keep open Flusterstorm and look for an Orchard first here. But if my opponent's on blue-black, this Oath will be great. I can try to resolve it. Orchard is our best draw. Traxa is no good. I think I would rather just get a fetch land and wait another turn. Probably we'll do an end step spin into a fetch spin. Repeal. Repeal's interesting. Found a show and tell. It's like a little annoying, but all right, so what I'll do is I'll draw this island next turn. And then we'll play Oath and get it countered. And then we'll play show and tell. We're not really in any rush here. My opponent's deck doesn't do anything quickly. We can set up our mana in a way where we are more likely to resolve our spells. This way we can play Oath. If it gets countered, it's fine. On the next turn, we untap and we have show and tell with Fluster. They missed a land drop. Kind of unlucky considering they repealed. I'm not going to show this island They didn't look at my top card. Want to hide the fact that this card could be an Orchard. Make this counterable. Spell Pierce. I think the answer here is we draw the show and tell, and then we... Oh, this is just fine. And we know that Atraxa... I guess we have a spin here. Mother... We get strip mined. It's actually kind of bad for us. I'd like to be able to find a second blue card so that we can force and fluster. But we might just be doomed to fluster here. I was kind of hoping... I guess they can't fluster this Oath, so... Maybe my play just makes no sense. And now they're going to know about my... No, I can still spin this. Show them Atraxa on top. This makes us weaker to like a Bowmaster, I guess. Also, I'd kind of like to have the second show and tell, so maybe all of this is just like kind of garbage. They do know my whole hand now too. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to have show and tell, have them counter the first show and tell, then resolve the second show and tell. That might just be better, all things considered. Because I have to fetch away here, I lose my top and I lose my second show and tell, which I'd actually like to have. I guess if I'm considering that they don't have Flusterstorm of their own and I want to force pitch to Atraxa, then I don't really want... I guess I do want second show and tell still. They have Time Twister in their deck. It's good to know. Spell Pierce, maybe? Oh, they have Fluster. I was just like never ever beating a Fluster no matter what, though. Okay. So I know I have a Sensei's top on top and another show and tell. So theoretically, I can just spend 1 mana to get down to my show and tell. So much counter magic, huh? Negation, Fluster, Pierce, Repeal. True Lotus. So now they can go buy Lurrus with the strip mine. Lotus, Lurrus. Or whatever this does. I don't know exactly what that does. Felt like I would have just bought Lurrus and played a bobble here, but maybe they're just trying to get a force. Oh, they just have Vault Key? Sick. I mean, my opponent just played the control game much better. Like, even if I have like a nice matchup here, like my opponent just counters all my things and I die. I don't know. This deck is so bad. Maybe I'm so bad. Maybe it's both. I don't even like Null Rod in this matchup. Like, their deck doesn't actually... I mean, it's fine. Null Rod's fine. Maybe I should just be bringing in Null Rods. The problem is, like... I guess it stops Bobble. I like bring in Null Rod and I take out, like, this. I, like, hate negation in this matchup. Like, it doesn't counter what I want it to counter ever. It's kind of a problem. Let's go like this, I guess. Just gonna slam this turn 1 Oath. While they're tapped out. All right, have an Oath in play. That opens up some solid draws for us. Makes that so they can't do anything clockwise. Soul Warning. Needle. Needling Oko. It's not really great for misstep target, to be honest. Like, I think the thing it does here is if they get a cage off of their Saga, then I can't Oko the cage. But I think I'd rather just hold on to this misstep. I can still have Besiege You and stuff like that, so. Tropical. I think I'm supposed to wait on this time walk an additional turn. Just in case I draw a... Orchard. They can go like construct, play cage. Citadel's so bad against a cage too. Maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe everything is doomed. I feel not good right now. This deck does not feel good in any capacity. All right, I will cast Time Walk. I guess I should have not played my land, but then I can get flustered and pierced for no reason. So they didn't go for constructs. Does that mean there's no cage in their deck? Or does that mean I'm just getting Vault Keyed again? Fuck's sake. what am I supposed to do, man? I got nothing. I can have anything. Besiege You, Vigor, Null Rod, but I have nothing. It's not even like if they Spell Pierce this, that taps them out of Vault Key. I like even if this wasn't a bait or this was a bait, like it doesn't do it. They had force backup. So Vigor wasn't even any good anyways. All right. Things are bad. And I'm actually level 1 land. I think this deck is just trash. And obviously, I didn't play that well, right? I lost some multiple games in this event. But like just the feeling of this deck and what this deck is doing, it just looks like trash. I mean, I don't get to play against my best matchups, right? Workshop, Bazaar, Mono White. I don't have my best matchups. I'm only playing against blue decks that have all counters, but I don't know. Like these decks have Spell Pierce now. They have Dress down. They are now playing like Volt Key and Twister, which I think make the deck more powerful. I need to do some serious thinking and trying to figure out how I need to approach vintage going forward here. Hopefully I figure it out before Eternal Weekend. This video might not air until like the day before, so I have a little bit of time before then. We'll see what happens. More vintage content every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. I'll see you then.